So, subatomic particles that travel faster than the speed of light. It was impossible, according to Einstein and today's standard model of particle physics, but it's very popular in science fiction. How many sci-fi folks are here? Yeah, and you've heard of tachyon in science fiction. Matter of fact, it's so popular in science, it became like the catch-all for anything that science fiction writers wanted to explain. So they would have, and yet, a lot of what they used it for as fiction is turning out to be pretty much what is coming around the pike, like phone. Well, we'll look at that. Telephones, the tachyons can be used to time travel. So. I know. So the Vedic tradition named tachyons 6,000 years ago, and I'm really disappointed because I found in my initial searching for gaining understanding of tachyon, I had this great video that this Indian scientist put up, and he made graphics and pictures of like all the different Indian gods flying around, and but anyway, Mondajava means the stuff that gods are made of. So hold that thought. So to prove that they exist, so far, scientists can only measure the negative entropic effects that tachionized material have on entropy. And we'll talk about some of the experiments in a minute that actually show that you can, the experiments that validate their reality. So it means speedy, tachys means speedy, and there are examples of different types of tardionic particles that are in matter, but we're going to just watch this quick little 4-minute video because he can explain it much better than I can.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but
Hi, I'm Lalit Vasist. A tachyon is a hypothetical particle that always travels faster than light. It is also known as tachyonic particle. The possibility of particles moving faster than light was first proposed by Robert Ehret and Arnold Sommerfeld, independently of each other. This term comes from Greek word tachy, that means rapid. Two complementary particle types that are known to exist are called gluxons and baryons. Gluxons are the particles that always move at the speed of light, and baryons are the particles which always move slower than light. Here we are talking about tachyons, also known as tachyonic particles that always move faster than light. Now, let me tell you one very interesting thing about tachyons. The mass of tachyons is imaginary. If you didn't get it, let me explain it to you. Actually, the mass of any object at rest is different from its mass when it moves. But we do not observe this difference in mass at speeds much lesser than the speed of light. But when the speed of object is comparable to the speed of light, then we cannot neglect this change in mass at this high speed. As we are talking about tachyons that always have a speed higher than the speed of light, we have to consider this change in mass. So for such fast moving particles, the rest mass is different from the relativistic mass. Here is the formula that explains the relationship between the rest mass and the relativistic mass, that is the moving mass. According to this formula, mr is equals to m naught divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Here mr is the relativistic mass, that is the moving mass of the object. M naught is the rest mass, which is invariant mass. V is the velocity of the object, and c is the speed of light. Now let's focus on the formula. As we know that the speed of tachyonic particles is always greater than the speed of light. That is, here in this case, v is greater than c. So v divided by c will be greater than 1. Also, v square divided by c square would also be greater than 1. Now, on subtracting a number which is larger than 1 from 1, we will get a negative number. And we know that the square root of a negative number is not real. It is an imaginary number. As you can see on the screen, the square root of minus 1 is called iota. It is denoted by I. From the formula, if we assume that the rest mass of tachyons is imaginary, then we will have imaginary numbers in the numerator and also in the denominator of this formula. So this imaginary part will cancel out and we will have a real relativistic mass. For example, I have written here 2 iota divided by 3 iota. Then this iota will cancel out and we will have 2 divided by 3, a real number. So from this discussion, we can say that the mass of tachyons will exist only when they will travel faster than light. Unlike ordinary particles, the energy of a tachyon decreases as its speed increases. Note that this is just opposite to the ordinary particles where increase in speed results in increased energy. As the ordinary particles cannot travel faster than light, in the same way tachyons are forbidden from slowing down to below the speed of light, because infinite energy is required to reach the barrier from either above or below. You will be surprised to know that tachyons can be used to time travel. A tachyonic anti-telephone is a hypothetical device in theoretical physics that could be used to send signals into one's own past. So friends, do you enjoy this interesting information about tachyons? If yes, then please like and share this video, and don't forget.
You know, I can't tell you how many times I've watched that, you know, to watch the equations and everything, and at the end I'm like, duh, still, you know, it just doesn't, but...
It doesn't.
Huh?
It doesn't.
No. So, anyway, continue. What is tachyon? Putative subatomic particles, a third category of matter. Rest is imaginary. Rest mass is imaginary. We kind of saw that. They gain speed by losing energy. They slowed down by gaining energy. We could watch another. Should we watch another one? I don't think so. I think we want to start fork bending. So scientists, but this is important, scientists do search for them in cosmic rays or air showers of superluminal particles already known as neutrinos. Some say that neutrinos are tachyons and tachyons are neutrinos, and that's over my head. But they're capable of restructuring natural materials to become permanent antenna for spiritual light, creation, natural wisdom. That's the key that we need to understand here, that when we imbue matter with this with tachyon particles, it becomes an antenna for spiritual light. So that means it can receive and emit. So it acts as a conversion delivery system for the energy, light, and information. And it can enhance intentions and provides explanation for psychic phenomenon. It explains how we can know what, we can do remote viewing and read each other's minds and all those wonderful telepathic experiences that we are learning to develop as a species, because we're evolving. Yay!
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
I've been interested in pyramid energy,
Yeah.
pyramid research for many years.
Yep.
I know that the Russians have built, 144-foot plexiglass pyramids and spent millions of dollars even today
Yeah.
doing it now.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me in pyramid research is that you have all kinds of pyramid phenomena that happens in there, from mummifying meats to increasing medicine potencies. But what they discovered was that pyramids don't work when there's no sunspot activity.
Ooh.
And then one of the theories is that the sunspots are actual mini black holes, and they pull in particles, and when they pull them in, on the other end of the sun, on the other side, they shoot them out faster than the speed of light.
Wow.
So that's one of the theories, that when you have sunspot activity, that's why the pyramids work. And there's been a lot of experiments to show that when there's low sunspot activity, none of the phenomenon, even when you have the pyramid aligned to magnetic north, it doesn't happen in there.
Oh, that's
So
fascinating.
they're actually, one of the words that came up in this theory was the tachyon theory.
Oh,
That is
wow.
also in pyramid energy. And as
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the characteristics you read that tachyon
Yeah.
has, pyramids do.
Yeah.
Very
And this pyramid is a generator that's provided by TacyonLiving.com.
Oh, wow.
And so when we do our chamber meditations, we sit right under it, and all this material is tacyonized.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so since I added that about 7 months ago,
It's magnetically aligned to north?
it didn't have to be. Yeah,
Doesn't have to be?
no,
Okay.
but where that north is that way.
Yeah, according to all pyramid research, if it's not aligned to north, you don't get the optimum. You get some effect.
Yeah,
But you get maximum effect, particularly if you use the 51 degrees of the Giza Giza pyramid.
yeah. Well, they did. That wasn't part of the instruction, but
side would you do the north to?
Any straight side aligned to
Any
north.
straight side,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. Well, actually, I think that one is then.
Ironically, Celeste,
I think that one is.
you are actually facing true north is that way.
What?
The side that's closest to you
Yeah,
is facing true north.
right here.
Yeah.
Cool.
True north isn't straight up towards Hartford. It's actually like heading out towards Grambling.
Okay. Well, I never compassed it, but
The tachyon energizing of this thing naturally will align it to magnetic north because of its
that's interesting.
immune properties.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, so we're going to go over this little diagram in a minute, but Ernest Wall has written a huge book on tachyon science, but he's mostly famous for understanding that, for putting out the information that tachyon can be converted. It's not a frequency, but it can be converted into all forms of frequencies, and that it's a delivery system, and it acts as a bridge between all frequencies and source. So if we're looking to use Reiki, we would be enhanced because the tachyon is acting as a bridge between that Reiki frequency, or if we're doing reconnective healing frequency, that's a different frequency, and it would be the bridge. So bring light energy and information into all aspects of matter, including the body, mind, and subtle bodies. Okay, it can be scientifically measured with Kirlian photography. Everybody knows that what that is, taking aura pictures and stuff. So also, there were a number of experiments done with grapes, rose buds, and mice. But the grapes, so Tachyon Living makes a bigger plate than this as well that people put in their vegetable bins. But if you took this plate and take a break off grapes from the same vine, and you put some in front of the plate and some over here, and you do the time-lapse photography, you can really see that the ones that are in front of the plate last longer. They don't decay as quickly. And so that's one indicator. Then the rosebud experiment is where they do the time-lapse photography and put a rosebud, one in tachyonized water, because we can tachyonize our water and all our ingestibles and everything as well. And the ones obviously in the tachyonized water last almost like 2 or 3 weeks longer. And the mice live 40% longer. They have a 40% longer longevity than once they've been exposed to the tachyon. So anyway, it's kind of mind-blowing. So that's exciting. So the bridge to the life force, the prana. Tachyon, really, the particles are around us at all times. They're already here. It's the life force. It's what we are already. However, it dissipates with age, and so it can be replaceable or harnessed, and that's what we're doing. Energy is defined as the ability to do work, right? We all understand that. And so tachyon, or harnessed particles, work for us, okay? They help us improve our health, well-being, and circumstances. Now, in the 1990s, David Wagner was one of the original people who created advanced tachyon product line. If you go on the internet, you'll find his stuff. That's when I first learned about tachyon. I was doing a late night internet search down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh. But the concept rang true for me, and I believe that I understood it because of what we've done with fork bending in my classes with my spiritual teacher, Eugenius Ang. And so I was like, wow, that's really cool. I want to learn more. And I kept searching because I didn't like David Wagner's approach is mechanical. They use small chambers to imbue their products, and they keep it a secret. It's proprietary. They do not talk about how they actually create their products. And I didn't like that. You know, I'm like, you know, it just didn't ring true for me. And so I kept searching, and that's when I found Tachyon Living. TachyonLiving.com is the creators of all these beautiful products that we're surrounded with today. And Holly and Paris are the founders. And Holly Matthews is a medium, a channel. She has a list of credentials this long for all the different folks she studied with and different certifications she's received. And she was instructed to do this. She was, you know, like appointed, yes.
So what's her method, or?
No, we're getting into it. Yeah.
I'm like,
Good. I'm glad you're not saying, oh no, not this woo-woo stuff, you know. So yeah, so she sources her tachyon from the 12th dimensional assembly of light beings, okay? She contacts them, and they do the work of imbuing the products for us. And then then we're able to use them for deliberate concentrate. So they have, it's a streaming alchemical process. And what I really like and appreciate about this is that they make it available to everyone with this wonderful envelope, which we'll talk about too at length. But this proprietary, it's not a secret. You put your jewelry that you wear or whatever you want to have in your house that you want to be imbued, to become an antenna, to emit, you put it in the envelope, you email them, you tell them the number, and you put the envelope aside for 24 hours, and the process, they contact the 12th dimensional beings, and the process starts. And so every time I've done a couple things, and I keep it, I try to stay in the room, you know. I'm like, you know, but only an ultra sensitive like Laura could really know what's going on. I'm not an ultra sensitive, but I have knowing, clear knowing. But anyway, I fell in love with the whole concept, you know, and I really realized that they are true to wanting to bring Tachyon into this world because they're not being greedy about it, and the products are nowhere near as high priced as these other companies are, so with their secret proprietary stuff. So anyway, so here we see some of the more things that Tachyon, the source of all energies, condensation out of the 0-point field. So it does, I don't understand that, but it's limitless, omnipresent, beyond the speed of light, directly interacts with our subtle organizing energy fields, but it's not an energy and it's not a frequency. It's just Tachyon. So, source Tachyon particles reverse entropy. They stabilize our subtle bodies, and it's a method of creating greater vitality, longevity, anti-aging, EMF protection. You have a list of benefits in your package, and let's not forget that the Vedic tradition calls Tachyon particles Mon de Java, which is the stuff that gods are made of.